A Sailor's Final Memory, April 7th, 1945. The morning sun slowly rose above the ocean. I stood on the deck of the battleship Yamato, feeling the cold wind against my face. The sea was calm, almost too calm. I looked at the endless horizon and wondered if I would ever see my hometown again. At that moment, I had a strange feeling in my heart, a feeling that this might be my last day. Yamato was not just a ship. She was the largest battleship ever built by Japan. To many of us sailors, she represented strength, pride, and hope. Standing beside her massive guns, I always felt like I was standing beside a giant. But that morning was different. The atmosphere on board was quiet. The sailors who usually joked and laughed were silent. Everyone knew this mission was not like the others. We were ordered to sail south toward Okinawa. We were told that we had an important mission, but deep inside, we all understood the truth. This was a one-way journey. Before leaving, many sailors wrote letters to their families. Some carefully folded photographs of their loved ones and placed them inside their uniforms. Others simply sat quietly, staring at the ocean. I remember seeing my friend Hiro sitting alone near the deck. He was holding a small picture of his family. He smiled and said, "When this is over, I want to go home and eat my mother's cooking again." I didn't know how to answer, so I just sat beside him in silence, because at that moment we both knew there was a chance we would never go home. As Yamato moved across the Pacific Ocean, the waves crashed against the massive hull. The ship felt unstoppable. For a short moment, I almost believed we would survive, but then the sound came, a distant roar from the sky. At first, only a few sailors noticed it. Then the sound became louder. Someone looked up and shouted, "Enemy aircraft!" I raised my eyes toward the sky. Above the clouds, hundreds of American aircraft appeared. They filled the sky like a dark storm approaching the sea. The alarm rang across the entire ship. Every sailor ran to his position. The peaceful ocean instantly became a battlefield. Our anti-aircraft guns began firing. The sky was filled with smoke and explosions. I could feel the entire ship shaking beneath my feet. The sailors around me fought with everything they had. No one wanted to die. Everyone wanted to survive. But the enemy attacks continued. Wave after wave of aircraft attacked us. Then came the first explosion. A bomb struck Yamato. The sound was beyond anything I had ever heard. The deck shook violently. Smoke rose into the sky. The smell of fire filled the air. I grabbed the railing to keep myself from falling. For the first time, I saw fear on the faces of experienced sailors. The great Yamato was hurt. More bombs and torpedoes followed. The ocean around us exploded. Water rushed into the ship. The mighty battleship slowly began to lean. I looked around at my fellow sailors. Some were still fighting. Some were helping the wounded. Some were silently looking at the ocean. At that moment, I realized something. We were not just sailors on a battleship. We were ordinary people caught in a moment of history. We had dreams. We had families. We had places we wanted to return to. But war had taken us here. As Yamato continued to sink, I stood on the damaged deck and looked at the sky. The sunlight was still shining. The ocean was still beautiful. The world continued as if nothing had happened. But for us, everything was ending. The ship that once seemed invincible was slowly disappearing beneath the waves. I watched Yamato sink into the ocean, the greatest battleship of Japan, the symbol of an era gone forever. I don't remember how long I floated in the water. I only remember looking back at the place where Yamato disappeared. The sea became quiet again. The battle was over, but the memories remained. Even today, when I hear the sound of waves, I remember that day. I remember the sailors who never returned. I remember the giant ship that carried our hopes. April 7th, 1945. That was the day Yamato made her final voyage.